Yes, sir. It is I, your boy from Bed-Stuy, and I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in for Don't F Up the Crime Scene, where me, special guests, will tune in and talk about our experiences on crime scenes and how to mess up the case. All right? So sit back and enjoy and holler back at your boy. Holla. Welcome back. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Don't F Up the Crime Scene. I'm your boy, aka Dude, and we're going to go and start with another podcast, episode 2. This one will be called Equipment. So we went over mindset, now we're talking about equipment and certain things to have. So I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in again, and let's go ahead and start it off. Because most of us came out of an ACO background, animal control officer, and now we're ACIS, animal cruelty investigators. And some of my law enforcement guys will have switched over and they know some of the tools and they have some of the tools with us. Know what I mean? So let's go over one of the things, depending if the dog's still alive and is fractious, afraid, whatever like that, a leash and or catch pole. Your catch poles can come in different varieties, different sizes and whatever. And this won't be a plug, but I'll plug it in probably on another episode. You can get those at Aces and get those at Tomahawk. All right, know what I mean? So again, your catch pole should be functioning. It shouldn't get tangled. It should come out. You should know how to work it, release the animal. Try your best not to asphyxiate and choke the animal out because it's kind of tough when it fractures. Be careful with that. Make sure with your leash, you have several different leashes you can apply. You have the little dainty ones, what we call tearaways. You put over it, they bite right through it. It's wonderful for a muzzle wrap, but horrible for everything else. Then you have your regular thick nylon, corded, kind of rope-looking ones, and then you have the ACO friend. It's basically like a bike chain type of with a plastic coating over it. Pretty good stuff. So then you have a net. Net will come in various sizes, and some people will scoop them up. Some people actually throw them. My boy Leo, that's another episode. He throws his net, and amazing. Then you have a homegirl, Kirsten, down in Alabama. She has a net gun where she's able to get up, with like a tripod and go on top of her van and knock him down. She's a beast. And then you have snake tongs. Most snakes you can actually pick up with your hands. Most. You need to identify what type of snake it is before you do that. That might be helpful, just saying. But it's rare that you need a snake tongue. In case if it's in a stuck somewhere, I get you. Other than that, you can just pull them out and stuff like that, wrap around, depending on what type of snake and how pissed off it is. So you have leashes, we talked about muzzles, muzzle wrap, you have nylon, and you have the basket. Baskets are best depending on what type of breed you have. It's not one shop all, okay? The nylon ones, I don't care for them, but if you're going to put a nylon muzzle on, make sure you asphyxiate it pretty tightly and pull back because the dog can still bite you with one. And they have muzzles for cats too, so be careful. As far as gloves, there's several different types of gloves. I think I linked one time I was talking about I have like 8 pair of different gloves, and that's going from my regular rubber gloves to the little ones I use for in the water to my SWAT gloves and stuff like that. And in between, I have the welder's gloves, aka cat gloves. Then I have real cat gloves that goes from the tip, and they kind of like hold your hand tighter. They're not cumbersome, and they go all up your arm. I have rabies gloves. I have a whole bunch of gloves, but all you need is probably maybe like 3 all-purpose, maybe some waterproof ones or something like that, depending on what you're trying to actually get. And then a towel or blanket. Sheets are really good too. People say why? Depending on what type of animal you want to cover them, make them calm, so then won't be fractious all the time. I hope that makes sense. And then flashlight. I think flashlight's probably one of the most important things you can have. And bring backup batteries just in case, and test all your equipment out before you even exit the parking lot when you go into your call. Usually, where I used to work, we have a checklist that you go through all your stuff. That's including your vehicle. You go through all your paperwork before you go out there, because last thing you want to do is go somewhere and you needed this paperwork and you don't have it. You know, you look like a dumbass. So then you have to call somebody, because you can't leave, you know, your case. You have to call somebody, have to drop it off. You know what I mean? So try to check your stuff at least once a week, to make sure you have all proper paperwork, so you don't have to go back for that. And all your equipment, make sure it's charged up, because, you know, batteries, you know, go dead after a while, and have backup batteries just in case. As far as other equipment, ACI equipment, a black lamp if you're looking for different types of mains. Not everything fluoresces, but a lot of mains just do. That's black lamp, whiz lamp, a camera, a working camera that you understand how to work. This is not going to be photography. We're going to talk about that in another episode. But the camera does not have to be expensive. It just doesn't. You need to turn it on. Make sure you have an SD card in there for some memory. Get a 64 or 128 memory card, so it can host a lot of pictures, just in case you don't take it off. It's rare that you'll fill it up, but I would just definitely get 64 at minimum, and then 128 or something like that. Okay, and then backup battery for your camera. You know, a bag for your camera just in case. Don't need a tripod unless you have a serious case going on, and at that time maybe crime scene can come out. I have tripods like that depending on what's going on. So flashlight we talked about. If you're going to have a rape kit, you can use a rape kit for sexual crimes and dangerous animals. It's going to be a dog. They use the same equipment just about, because all you're trying to do is look for evidence that, you know, usually it's going to be close up on the body. For sexual crimes, and I'm not going to go into that because that's a level 3 course that some of my homies teach. You can, you know, use swabs and stuff like that, distill packets of water, hair combs and Q-tips and stuff like that. Okay, and you can use that for both sexual and dangerous animal, because you want to make sure dangerous animal. Make sure that's the animal. So you're going to probably take an impression of the teeth. You can be trained to do that, or call somebody out to do that. Make sure you have the right dog if it's that serious, meaning it killed somebody. E-collar is very good, so the animal can't lick off any of the evidence. Put that on right away. Tyvek, make sure you have at least 3 or 4 of them for yourself, and get them 2 sizes bigger, not 1 size, 2 sizes, because they tend to be tight depending on your body type, and they get torn. So all you need is duct tape, because you don't switch. Just put some duct tape on and keep going. Rubber boots. I use the fireman boots. I still have mine. They're really good. Your BCS charts. Okay, so you have your body condition scoring charts. You can use either of them. It's only 2. There's going to be a Purina, I prefer, and you have a Tufts. Either or, doesn't make a difference. They work opposite, so you shouldn't get mixed up. And you can move from one to the other. If you start at you like one, you say okay. But do you like the other one now? It's okay. You can't go back. Same methodology. You have to have the same methodology. There's no reason to go back and forth. Okay, and there's different type of BCS charts for different type of animals. You have one for llamas, one for beef, and one for milk cows. You have one for horses, sheep. There's a whole bunch. So, you know, learn how to kind of like, you know, look at them and identify what's thin and what's not. Sometimes you can be confused. I love the Purina. It's more descriptive. It's easy for me to look at it and understand it and explain it. If I have to go to court, it's real easy for me to explain it. And then we're just going to talk about training. So you can get training in person, online, and webinars and stuff like that, and certifications. So I'm a big guy because, you know, I teach on the side. I'm a big guy on training. Training is key because you get to learn, exercise the brain muscle, and learn. A lot of people, I tell the cheapest way to get some knowledge is go to conferences. Conferences has a little bit, it's not in depth. They give you like little portions of what you can actually get if you go to the school, or if you go online, or if you go take the whole seminar. So conference is really good, and I think everybody should go, especially people, in the field, or your kennel people and stuff like that, shelter workers, admin, so they can understand the other parts of the agency. Because some people who just work shelter, they kind of know what the field does, but they don't. Or you work inside the office, you kind of know what the field does, but you don't. And then, same thing with the field officers. They kind of know, but they don't. So when you go to conferences, you get to meet, greet, have a little fun, talk war stories, but you get little segments, little nuggets. And that should open your brain up to go get some more training and in-depth training with a few other agencies. So there's a plethora of different teaching places you can go to. I'm affiliated with Law Enforcement Training Institute, LETI, out of Missouri, at the Missouri University. I always pump them up, and I'm a graduate of NACA. I went to NACA 1 and 2 back in the olden days. So I went to HSUS. I've taken ASPCA courses online and stuff like that. Wherever you can get it, you need to get it. I wouldn't say one over the other. I'm going to be biased with mine, but I think you should go out there and gain some knowledge. So when you have to be, when you ask about it, you can actually give an honest opinion, answer, and hopefully you have some time and certification behind you. As far as the webinars, tons of people do webinars. I'll implore you to go ahead and, check it out. Just check it out and see what's up. For our certifications at my school, there's 3 levels. And after you finish, you get your certification as a cruelty investigator. And now I'm transitioning over to a little code enforcement. So I'm trying to get my I think it's my GACE or my ICC certification, stuff like that, because, I like to be certified in everything I know. So again, as far as the equipment, make sure it's working. Make sure you have it with you. I used to set my vehicle up because I only did cruelties for a long time. So if you, one of the officers that do animal control, which is good, but you do a lot of cruelties, you should set up your vehicle a little different. So in your front seat and different like that, your computer, of course, all your doodads and knickknacks of your camera, stuff like that, so you can grab it real quick. You don't have to go behind you. And if it depends on the van, it's a little bit different, but a regular Ford 250 with the the cab on the back, you have like maybe 6 cargos, unless you have a dog box, might be a little different. You should set it up where you have your what you call things, help me out, those little plastic containers. So I had my truck set up, I had 6 compartments. So the one big compartment where it's like one you could put a big dog in there like that, I used to leave that open. But other 4 compartments, I put one in there for anything I have to dig up, like something dead, clandestine grave sites, stuff like that. I set that up. I have one for hoarders and stuff like that, large animal investigation, somewhat dogfighting. We don't see it a lot, but just in case, dangerous animal, seen that all the time. So I have plastic e-collars, stuff like that. So set your vehicle up so each compartment can be a different type of scenario, depending on what you do best. Okay? So let's review real quick. Training is key. Take your training online or in person. Everybody likes in person. In person, you learn better. Online, you learn at your pace. Go to conferences and get the little nuggets, and then go to the big schools or the big webinars online to get your certifications. I think that's key. As far as your ACI equipment, big thing here is going to be your camera. Camera is key. Your rape kit, e-collars, your tie vac, your rubber boots, your BCS charts, and know how to apply them. And as far as your ACO equipment, again, your leashes, your catch pole, your net, if you need one, snake tongs, muzzle, gloves, towel, blanket, and your flashlight. Okay? And that's it, guys. I'll see you next time. And you can always look us up at DFUTCS.com. And don't F up the crime scene. Holla back, guys.